little short on that landing. Unfortunately, touches down her hands, which will count as a fall.
The next NBA Saturday matchup on ABC and the ESPN app is a matinee in Miami. The Milwaukee Bucks visit the Miami Heat in an Eastern Conference battle. Coverage tomorrow begins with the NBA countdown at 12:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 a.m. Central. I mean, we need to take a deep breath ourselves. This has been an emotional roller coaster between great routines and some struggles gymnastically, and then some potential injuries that we don't know the status of. But again, 4 routines left for each of these teams. Each of these teams has had some mistakes. The outcome of this competition still hangs in the balance, no pun intended, as we are on the balance beam.
I think it's just a gentle, or not so gentle, reminder that this sport, these athletes make it look easy, but it is dangerous. They are performing difficult level skills, and though they make it come with some ease, it's something that's very hard, and they're very concerned about the safety of their teammates at all times, and we wish them all nothing but the best.
We saw Ashley Natt, one of the coaches of the LSU Tigers, giving some words to KJ Johnson. Ashley was one of the stars of this LSU team. Seems like yesterday. And again, such an important role as a coach, not just teaching gymnastics, but teaching that focus and keeping them on task despite the challenges. Some of them obviously worried about their teammates, but they still have a job to do. KJ Johnson, the next one to do just that here on the balance beam, the sophomore. There's Jay Clark and Kaya Johnson over on the side having a conversation. Waiting on the judges again. This seems like a common theme. Are the judges rusty too early in the season, Alicia?
No, when there's a situation like where there's a fall and the routine isn't completed all the way through, it's going to affect the start value. So then they have to calculate it and see what skills are missing. And so you have to add up how many special requirements that are not there. So it impacts a lot. So the judges have to do a little extra math. And they have to agree upon what is given and what's not.
KJ's had a good night for LSU tonight. 9.85 on Flarker 9.875 on vault. She did not perform on the uneven bars.
KJ showing us a planche, showcasing strength, flexibility. I don't know if my body would bend back from that, but it's very impressive.
Just be there permanently.
Switch leap straddle quarter. Very aggressive back handspring lat, step out. Aerial. Just a little ahead of herself, needs to come back down, get her heart rate normal, and not rush these connections. Handspring 1.5 dismount. Step on that landing.
Bryce Wilson right before her got an 8.6 for that routine. Obviously that is a score that LSU will likely drop. Ashlyn Leclerc though for Kentucky just a 9.125, so she had some mistakes. And Kaya Johnson, she's injured, but she is still participating with this team. Smile on her face, and how important is that for the team to see?
She is showing her leadership right there. Yes, it's not the condition she wants to be in, it's not the way she wanted her meet to go, but she's being strong for her teammates and putting on a good face.
Now Isabella Magnelli follows at 9.125. Critical moments. KJ Johnson had a hit, a few wobbles on that beam routine, but now it's Isabella Magnelli's chance to follow a mistake. She's got a hit.
Isabella opens up with a punch, ready to back layout, step out. switch side straddle fill for Isabella. Double pike.
Okay.
After a fall, that's what you are looking for in a teammate. And Isabella delivered a nice hit routine for the Wildcats.
Much needed hit routine as we take one more look.
Form great in that tumbling, her legs glued together. Takes a little bit of a big step backwards, which the judges will knock her for, but for the most part, that routine.
If you are anxiously awaiting the Auburn-Florida meet, that meet will actually start on ESPN News. While we finish up this competition, we hope you'll stick with us. What looks like to be a very exciting finish here. Haley Bryant waits to go on balance beam. KJ Johnson a 9.575, so if they got her for those wobbles that you had mentioned, Alicia. They will have to count that 9.575. Isabella Magnelli's score yet to come in. Let's see how that compares. Should give Kentucky a bit more of a cushion after 3 gymnasts to go, but for LSU, they got 3 left to go. Haley Bryant, Aaliyah Finnegan, and Elena Arenas will replace Kaya Johnson. 3 athletes very capable of scoring into the 9-9. So this is not over, despite Kentucky's comfortable lead. And I say comfortable because it is not insurmountable. This is not over. Kaya Johnson still cheering on her team. And LSU had 5 fifth-year gymnasts that moved on after last season. They competed, they're part of the team last season. And that was a big group. And as you have, you know, sophomores becoming juniors, juniors becoming seniors, but you have that big group of fifth years, it kind of inhibits the growth of those juniors and seniors a little bit. But as they moved on, these athletes like Haley Bryant, for example, and Kaya Johnson and Lauren Shenikova now have their chance to kind of move into that leadership position. And right now, it's a big test for these LSU Tiger teams. What is your leadership like? Because you just had one of your stars go down, you had another rough routine, and potential injury we don't know from one of your star freshmen, and now your leadership has to take that leadership position. And what do they do, Alicia? How do you get this team to focus?
For these athletes, I don't see them as being the most vocal leaders. They are leading by example. They are showing their team how to conduct themselves with their actions. And you can see the sadness in Haley's eyes because she knows her teammate's hurt, but she's going to push that to a side and show that she needs to still compete and deliver when it's her turn. And that's how you lead your teammates. You have to push through the adversity and show them that, unfortunately, the show must go on. And she's going to get up and perform that routine and do the best of her ability. Beautiful front arrow to back handspring. A nice switch sleep straddle quarter for Haley.
Haley is arguably one of the most decorated freshmen in the history of the LSU program. 6 All-Americans, NCAA vault title.
This routine has been exactly what the LSU Tigers have needed. Closes out with a punch Rudy dismount, and that was fantastic for Haley Bryant.
Double fist bump from Kaya Johnson, and you talked about leading with their actions, and that right there was Haley Bryant leading with her actions in a must-hit moment for the Tigers.
A moment of respect for the standing punch front. Haley Bryant just did on balance beam. There was no run, There was nothing into it. She did it from a stand. That's how strong and dynamic she is an athlete. I'm having a mom moment. I'm so proud of her for how she handled that. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking the pressure that she was under.
You're
and
allowed
she
to have a mom
delivered.
moment.
It's the hormones, John. There's a lot going on over here.
Let's get back over to floor exercise now. Ariana Patterson follows Isabella Magnelli's 9-8. That score you see in the bottom right, that's still counting an 8-6 for LSU, so you got to keep that in mind.
Ariana opens up with a sky-high 1.5 to punch front layup. Switch half in the ring position. Switch swing to a very dynamic switch side, really showcasing Ariana's flexibility. Looking to close out this floor routine. Double tuck. Under rotates a bit, but stays on her feet.
A big step forward, and we've had a lot of moments in this meet where one team has a chance to pull away because the other one made mistakes, and then all of a sudden the script flips and the other team has a chance to pull away. That was a moment for Kentucky where she sticks that landing and it starts to feel like it's over, right?
Oh yeah.
But she puts that big step in there and you're back to going, oh, this is still up for grabs.
That's kind of the beauty and the curse of gymnastics. Anything can happen anytime. These athletes are human. They make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So it can keep a competition very close to keep you on your toes.
So Ariana Patterson, all smiles nonetheless, and we're going to go over to balance beam, and guess what? There's a judges conference. We need another word for conference because that seems like too kind of a word.
They're having a powwow?
We have had, oh man, I don't know, that might be too nice too. They are having a lot of trouble, I feel like, tonight.
It's over Haley Bryant's start value. One judge had it as a 9.9, and the other judges I couldn't see because their backs are to us, but Jay Clark was immediately like, no, no, no.
As we mentioned, the LSU schedule coming up is a challenging one. Throughout this season, they are going to face the top 5 teams from last year's end-of-season rankings. Missouri is one of those. They finished in the 5th spot. We mentioned Oklahoma. Arkansas really done great things recently as well. So one of the toughest schedules in the country. But if you're in the SEC, you got to go against all the other SEC teams. That means you automatically have one of the toughest schedules in the country. Kentucky knows that too, as we see Leah Finnegan now following a 9.95 from Haley Bryant.
That handspring layup does have a balance check on that landing.
That was an angry balance check.
I'm a firm believer, and if you have tight, aggressive arms on beam, you can save yourself from most falls, unless you're really crooked. And Leah did that. She tightened up quick and made sure she wasn't giving anything else to those judges. Front aerial for Aaliyah. Getting her full off the side. Steps on that dismount.
So it does get a hit, a few deductions for Aaliyah Finnegan. We'll see what the judges do momentarily. We're going to go over to floor exercise. Haley Davis, the junior, walk on her freshman year and sophomore year, got a scholarship this year, and unfortunately this past year lost her father, whom she's dedicated this floor routine to.
It's such a sweet memento she's sending out to her dad. The music of her floor routine are a compilation of all songs that he liked and enjoyed listening to. So for her, this is a really special floor routine, and she attributes to her dad.
Heartbreaking story, but a great tribute, and I'm told it's 80s rock that Dad used to like, so hang on here for Haley Davis.
Opening up with a double pike. Nice switch side to straddle full. One and a half front layout. Really getting ready for her last pass. Double tuck.
That point to the sky at the end, pointing up at her dad. Here's another look.
Haley closed out this routine very well with a nice double tuck. Big old smile on her face.
Next on beat for LSU,
So now last gymnast to go for LSU on balance beam, Elena Arenas in for Kaya Johnson. Follows Aaliyah Finnegan's 9.775. With this score, they will drop that 8.6. So if she can put up a 9.8 or better, this is going to go up well over a point for the team score because they are counting that 8.6 currently in that total bottom right.
Rock solid on her acro series. How about that handspring layout step out? Front toss to 2 feet landing.
Haley Davis on floor, just flirted with a career high. It's a 9.925, just behind her career high of a 9.95. What a performance.
Solid switch half for Elena. Sticks that 1.5 dismount.
Clutch. Putting the line up last minute. And that is a clutch, gutty performance. Trying to give LSU a chance. Aaliyah Finnegan right before her, a 9.775, and this should be a big score, though, for Arenas.
There was not many areas where they could deduct in that routine. She did a flawless performance, or near flawless, I should say, because, you know, judges can be a little fickle with their scores. But in a high-pressure situation where she wanted to hit for her team, that was a very well-done performance.
Fickle.
Fickle.
Nice way to put it.
Thank you.
Raina Worley now trying to close things out for Kentucky. This is a new floor routine for her as well. And Tim Garrison told us that Elise Ray, Olympian from 2000, bronze medalist, NCAA champion from Michigan, former head coach at the University of Washington, choreographed this routine for her.
opens up with a huge full-in.
9.925 for Elena Arenas. That is a career high for her.
Arenas next tumbling pass, front full to front layout.
Just has to put it on her feet.
Last always wasn't that stress for Arena. Nails that double tuck.
Raina Worley, she just needed better than a 9-4 or better for Kentucky to get just their 10th win against LSU. Coming in is 84 wins for LSU, 9 for Kentucky. The magic number 10, Alicia.
This atmosphere, this team, it wasn't an easy competition for either side, and they fought through to the very end.
Look at the end. Another note, though, if she gets a 9.975, she ties Haley Bryant for the all-around.
And now we wait.
I'm not sure if that's a stick boa or if that's just an I'm happy boa, because they get it. They get it every time. And well deserved, though, for Raina Worley, as we see LSU. A few sullen faces, certainly not the meet they wanted, and certainly more than a score or a win or loss, they are concerned about their teammates right now. Raina Worley, interesting story. Raina, I've known her since she was a very young gymnast, and she used to come to my camp, and one of our coaches, Kristen O'Shields at the time, Kristen Jones now, she was a Kentucky Wildcat, called Tim Garrison and said, hey, you might want to check out this Raina Worley. She's pretty darn good. Let's just say Tim Garrison owes Kristen Jones, we call her Osh, owes her one, because what an addition to this Kentucky Wildcat team she has been in her 4th season. Haley Bryant, she does get the all-around title, her 10th in her career with that 39.575. The score for Raina Worley, a 9.925. So just shy in that duel with her and Haley Bryant. That'll be a fun duo to watch throughout the season here in the SEC. Look for them to be atop a lot of the all-around standings.
Definitely. I know Haley's probably struggling with her emotions, but she's still had a great showing for herself and for her team. And it's going to be a trying little time for LSU right now, but they're going to pull together and they're going to keep competing to the best of their abilities. But a great competition for Kentucky tonight.
And that is a big score, over a 197 for the Kentucky Wildcats. They get their 10th win over LSU. Congratulations to them. For Alicia Quinn, I am John Roethlisberger. Congratulations to Kentucky, as we'll say so long from